said, you have, first of all, I like to say that kudos to you. You've been so vulnerable to open up. It's not easy, and to let us know that you face different emotions, and you did accept all of those emotions, in the sense that that you, when you say that I have been through this, I have been through that, that what you've gone through, but then you've also told yourself that what other people are telling me, the labels, I'm not that person. And this is an immensely courageous thing to have it back then, when you don't have a surrounding like that. There is no one to talk to who can understand you in that sense, but you had that inbuilt. So from here, I actually would like to kind of delve deep and ask you the next thing. I'd like to know, as you mentioned, until the age of 24, you had no idea what you really wanted to do, what it was like, that you would love to do, and you were experimenting. So could you please take us through probably one really challenging time up till that age that you felt that you were going through, and how did you overcome that? If you are able to, take us through that, because people who are listening to us, they're quite young. They're in that maybe early 20s or maybe late 20s, but all of us, we go through these emotions, and unfortunately, not all of us get that help from within, or maybe even from our external environment. So probably you telling us how you made your way through your challenges might help them.
Hey, I've been in so many crossroads in this life that I don't know which one to choose. Uh, like around your age, for example, like I said, I didn't even know if I want to be a psychologist. And it was very difficult for me because in Greece, we have these exams in order to join the university that are literally causing mental handicap. They're so
Wow.
stressful that there are people and students that might never actually get back together after those exams. So I
Wow.
succeeded in those exams. I joined the university to study psychology, and I didn't know if I really want to be there because I really liked art and I liked like music. At the same time, I was also working full time in corporations because I had to sustain myself in Athens because I'm not from Athens. So there were so many things, and I didn't really, psychology at that moment didn't even seem to be one of those things that I care about. So I didn't know what to do. And do you know how I solved that? I just did more things. In psychology, we call that a big bang of actions. It means that if you don't know what to do, just do a lot of things, and then you'll start eliminating. You'll start understanding
Amazing.
that, okay, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. And by finding out the things that don't work for me, in the end, I started realizing what works for me. So by the time I was like 24, I knew that I'm very business oriented because I was working the whole time. I knew that I wanted to do something with business. And I also knew that I'm not the kind of person that would feel good by abandoning the university. So that's the two things I knew. I didn't know how to combine psychology and business yet, but I knew that it's important for me to do something with business and it's important for me to get my diploma. So that's when I really concentrated to finish that. And the more I was learning, imagine something, we didn't even have a class of organizational psychology in my university. So I didn't know it exists. How
Wow.
I learned that existed. And that's a real lesson here because you can have information from every single thing that you're doing. I started watching a series, an HBO series called Billions. And in this series, it's about a hedge fund and how they go through business, etc. And there is a performance coach in this business in this series, and
Oh,
I was like, "That's interesting. Is that even a job? What she's doing there? I could do that. I'm pretty confident I could do that." So I started googling the terms she was using in the series I was watching, and that's how
amazing.
I found out that yes, it exists. Yes, that's what you need to do. That's how you do it. So I started learning more things, and that's how I started building up my whole course of life. So I was like, okay, I need to finish university. I need to do a master's there. In order to do that master's, I need to pick a thesis on corporate culture because that's what I'm interested in. Which is something I found out that I'm interested in corporate culture because of the jobs I had in event companies organizing team building activities, which up to this day is a big part of my job.
This is
Therefore,
incredible.
just go out there and try as many, like do the yes experiment. Try saying yes to all of the things that normally you would say no when it comes to your career. It's about time to stop seeing our careers as ladders. Like it's this thing and I need to climb up. No, it's more of a playground where you try this, then you don't like it, you're bored, you switch to another game, then you switch to another game. You still remain in the playground you chose. Okay, you do need to have some kind of a context, but around those areas of this context, there are so many opportunities. Back in the day, when you would tell to someone that, oh, I'm a psychologist, they only would assume that you're something like Freud, right? You have a bed
Yeah.
and people lay
Oh
over
my
and they
God.
tell you your problems. Yeah, that's the thing. But I'm a psychologist and I don't do that. I do so many other things. I do corporate trainings and I do sensitivity trainings about sexism in the workspace and diversity in the workspace and minorities. And I do big videos on TikTok and I give speeches. And none of these things were things that back then I would think that, okay, yeah, maybe I can live like that and have an income from that. So the thing is that we need to be agile because eras are changing. And the more agile you are, it's not about today just choosing one thing and being all in about this thing. It's about being agile, being adaptable, being flexible, and understanding that, yeah, you know what? Jack of all trades, they say, master of none, but still better than master than none.